Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're diving into this really powerful folktale. It's all about faith, hunger, justice, all simmering together, in a single pot. It's a story about a miracle that's born from just absolute desperation.
All right, so let's just jump right in. The story actually kicks off at its most dramatic point, the end. You've got this broken door, a shocking discovery, and this quote, it just makes you wonder, right? What was this miracle they found? And maybe even more importantly, why on earth was this woman locked up to begin with? So to really get a handle on this miracle, we have to go back. We need to understand the suffering that made it possible. We're going to a village called Zalia, a place that was just teetering on the brink. Man, the way this story is told, it's just grim. We're talking about a relentless famine. Think about it. Dust was literally the only thing that grew. It settled on everything, even on the tongues of children who were just too hungry to even cry anymore. It's like life itself was just drying up and blowing away.
And right in the middle of all the suffering, we meet our two main people. First, there's Adama. She's this woman whose spirit is so strong, it's like she actually glows, even with all that dust around. And she's pregnant, She's carrying this symbol of life in a land that feels like it's dying. And then you've got her husband, Kofi. He's described as being, well, like a dry leaf in the wind. He just gets pushed around by whoever is the strongest force at the moment. And you might be wondering, what's that strongest force? Well, it wasn't the wind. It was Kofi's mother, a woman whose heart was basically a storm of greed. And the difference between these two women, wow, it couldn't be more stark. You have Adama, who is all about life and kindness, and then her mother-in-law, Mama Kodi, is the complete opposite. Her heart is described as just shriveled up with jealousy and greed, and she absolutely hated seeing every single bite of food go to her pregnant daughter-in-law. So things get even worse. The hunger becomes this physical, gnawing pain for everyone. The crops fail again, and all that's left for the three of them is this. 1. A single, small yam. That's it. That's their last hope for a meal. And what happens next is it's a cold, calculated betrayal. Mama Kodi doesn't just steal the yam. Oh no, she sets a trap. She meticulously creates this whole scene, planting fake evidence, all to frame Adama, her innocent, pregnant daughter-in-law. And with just a few words, Mama Kodi lights the fuse. Her son, Kofi, he's so blinded by his own gnawing hunger and his mother's crazy lies. He buys it. He believes the whole setup. He won't even look his wife in the eye. He just turns on her completely. So, totally enraged, totally manipulated, Kofi does something terrible. He drags Adama to this old, dark kitchen hut, pushes her inside, and locks the door. He leaves her there with nothing. No food, no water, just darkness and the weight of what she's been accused of. So imagine this. You're alone, starving, falsely accused. What hope is there? I mean, this is her absolute lowest point, right? Locked in a hut, pregnant. She could have just given up, but she doesn't. Instead, something clicks. She remembers a story her grandmother told her, a story about this deep, almost radical kind of faith. And this is it. This is the turning point of the whole story. Adama makes a choice. She chooses hope instead of despair. She basically decides, okay, if faith is all I've got left, then I'm going to perform an act of pure, undiluted faith. So what does she do? She gathers some smooth stones from the floor of the hut. She finds an old, cracked pot, uses a little puddle of dirty rainwater, and she starts to cook them. She even sings a cooking song while she stirs, because her heart needed to believe she was making soup, even though her brain knew it was just stones and water. And as she's praying and singing and stirring this pot of stones, something impossible starts to happen. Something miraculous right there inside that locked hut. The steam coming off the pot, it starts to change. At first, it smells like wet earth, but then it shifts. It starts smelling like roasted peppers. Then it's like onions frying in palm oil. And finally, it deepens into this incredibly rich scent of a goat meat stew. This smell gets so strong, it actually escapes the hut and starts wafting over the entire village. And get this, it's like the animals feel it too. A line of ants marches right up to her pot, and they're carrying these tiny, sparkling crumbs that they drop in as offerings. And in this just beautiful moment, Adama shares the last drops of her water with them. This act of kindness, sharing the little she has, it seems to make the miracle even stronger.
Meanwhile, outside, the villagers are going crazy. The smell of a feast drives them into a frenzy. They follow it right to Kofi's gate, accusing him of hiding food. And Mama Kodi, she's furious, convinced Adama is some kind of witch, just mocking them. She eggs Kofi on, and he grabs an axe, ready to break down that door and shame his wife.
So they all charge forward. They're expecting to find a thief, a glutton, surrounded by piles of stolen food, grease on her chin. That's what they're ready for. But what they found was a miracle. No stolen food. Instead, there's Adama, looking radiant and strong. And she's sitting in front of a pot that's bubbling with this thick golden soup. And next to her, huge mounds of pounded yam that were definitely not there before. And the stones she was cooking, they're gone. In their place are nuggets of pure gold, just glowing in the fire.
So now, justice is served from a golden pot. The heart is revealed, and Adama, she doesn't hesitate for a second. She doesn't get angry, she doesn't point fingers. She just starts serving this miraculous soup, which seems to never run out, to all the starving villagers. And they're instantly revived, their strength comes back.
And here's the thing, the soup itself delivers the judgment. For all the villagers with open hearts, it's life-giving food. But when Mama Kodi greedily shoves a spoonful into her mouth, it turns to cold, gray stone. It's like the food itself knew the state of her heart. Kofi sees this, and it all hits him. He just falls to his knees, begging for forgiveness. Adama serves him food, but she says something powerful. She says, "From today, I am not just your wife. I am the mother of this house." Wow. She forgives him, but she also completely reclaims her power. The whole dynamic between them is changed, forever. And so the miracle fixes everything. It's not just about the food supply. It restores the moral balance of the whole village. The gold they found buys grain, ending the famine. Adama has her baby, a son she names Okuta, which means stone. Mama Kodi? Well, she's silenced. Whenever she tries to lie, she just coughs up pebbles. And Kofi? He finally learns to listen to his wife, this woman who he now knows speaks with God. So the story leaves us with this powerful idea. For a heart as hard as stone, you shall eat stone. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What does justice even look like when it's not served by a court, but by a miracle? It suggests that sometimes the universe has its own way of balancing the scale.